Aloha, everybody. I'm Althemia, and today we're playing Killswitch, which, is the yandere sim where we reconnect with our best friend from childhood. So, let us begin. Yeah, that's a start, alright. You wake with a start. A distant rolling boom violently shakes you from your sleep. Your heart silently jackhammers in your chest. After realizing you are a part of the waking world, you relax a bit. And it takes some time to adjust the dimly lit room. Your mind is foggy and your mouth is dry like cotton. Maybe downing that whole bottom Maybe downing that whole bottle of bottom shelf booze last night wasn't such a great idea after all. Mm, what's your name? Okay, that's a cute way to do it. Of course I know my name is Althemia. I'm not that hungover. With a groan of protest from your worn out bed springs, you roll onto your side. Sitting atop of your bedside table is a battery-operated alarm clock. A reliable substitute should a power outage or a dead phone battery keep you from waking up on time. The alarm clock reads 8:23 a.m. You're scheduled to be at work at 8:30 today. Shit. I better get up now if I want to make it to work on time. Will you? Go to work. With an annoyed grumble, you hastily tumble out of bed and get dressed in record time. On your way out, you grab your bag and tug on a raincoat, and slamming the door with a little more force than necessary. The rain was just a slight sprinkle now, much lighter than when you first woke up. Normally, rainy days are a source of your enjoyment, but right now, it's just another annoyance. Luckily, your apartment is just walking distance from your job. You trudge down the wet street, avoiding puddles along the way. Ooh, do we work at a library? We work at a library. Library. Yeah. You arrive just in the nick of time for your shift. You quickly put up your belongings and coat and slip on your name tag. Your morning routine consists of collecting books from the night drop and reshelving them. You make a beeline towards the front of the library. However, your attention is drawn to the person standing right in front of it. A tall, lanky man casually browses the Book of the Week display. You feel a small amount of pride as you had the pleasure of setting it up the night before. The stranger takes a book from the shelf and flips to the back to read the synopsis. You take a breath and a second to get into your customer service persona as you approach, taking care to make some noise to not startle him as you approach. Good morning. My name is Althemia. Are you finding everything okay? His ears flick at attention before his gaze meets yours. He looks at you with soft doe-like eyes through long, lush lashes. He smiles warmly at you. Althemia? Such a lovely name. However, I think rabbit is more fitting after all, don't you think? I'm a bunny. He winks at you in a playful manner, like it's an inside joke between the two of you. You can't read your head and smile back sheepishly, not fully understanding his meaning. Seriously, who says that? And was he really flirting with you right now? Oh, what did he mean by after all? He seems to pick up on your confusion immediately, whether by the fact you're making or whether by the face you're making or the growing stretch of awkward silence. He doesn't express disappointment, more along the lines of understanding and maybe a bit of embarrassment. Oh, I'm sorry. I guess you don't remember me. Though I'm not surprised. It has been a while since you last saw me. I was a lot shorter, scruffier, and was more ears and tail than child. My mind is short-circuiting, and if my confusion wasn't apparent before, it sure is showing itself now. Something about him seems so familiar, yet you can't seem to put your finger on it. Do I really know him? Let's say yes. You squint your eyes as you try to place a name to the face. And suddenly, like a light switch being flipped on, it all comes back in a rush. It's him, the little beastkin from your neighborhood. You hadn't thought about over... Eh. Man, I am sorry. I cannot read today. You hadn't thought about the overexcitable boy who would come over and play with you for hours on end. You hadn't... You didn't even... Yeah. You didn't have many friends when you were growing up, but you did have him, your very best friend. His name was... Clove. You immediately throw your arms around his midsection and hold on to him in the tightest of bear hugs. He flinches, not from the contact itself, but more so from the sudden closeness. Instead of moving away, he leans in and wraps his arms around your body in a gentle yet firm hold as he reciprocates the hug. You only now realize just how much he towers over you. Your face is tucked right between his pecs as the familiar sound of his beating heart thrums softly in your ear. Aww. Before things get awkward, you pull back and share a small smile with him. Holy crap, Clove. I haven't seen you since we were in grade school. How have you been? You look good. You look good? Of all the things you could have said, why would you say that one? I mean, he does look good. Am I wrong or am I wrong? His smile doesn't quite meet his eyes. Before you can backpedal or embarrass yourself further, he jumps in. Oh, thank you. And you know how it is, just trying to survive. He chuckles softly, or as soft as he can. For a man as unassuming as he looks, he sure has a deep timbre to his voice. I hear that. That's the most you can do sometimes. I had no idea you still lived here. Yep, I'm still here. Living in a small town can be difficult, but it feels like home, you know? It's nice to have something to come back to. I understand that feeling. Living in a small, nice location. He looks almost wistful as he speaks. Oh yeah, I get what you mean. I just recently moved back home after finishing up college, and here I am. You spread your arms as if to emphasize your meaning. He chuckles and gives a slight nod. It's so good to see you, Rabbit. There's that nickname again. Rabbit. You remember he would often call you that when you were kids. You don't remember exactly the reasoning behind the choice of name, but it just stuck. It might have been an insult long ago, however, when he says it now, it's like the sweetest thing to have ever touched his lips. His knowing smile seems to let on you are both having the same thoughts. Well, I'd love to stay and chat some more, but I really need to get going. If my disappointment shows, Clove doesn't react to it. Oh, okay. Don't let me keep you. It was good to see you again, Clove. We exchange another hug goodbye, however, this time he inclines his head towards mine. His breath hitches softly in his throat as my scent floods his senses. What was meant to be a friendly hug immediately turns into something more personal. But before you have a chance to do or say anything that might implicate you, he breaks the hug. After we part, he looks like he wants to say something more. However, he just waves in farewell on his way to the door. You want to stay and talk more, but there's a queue forming at the checkout desk, and you're the only one here. What will you do? Let's ask him to hang out. Screw it. This might be your one and only opportunity. You swallow the lump in your throat and take the plunge. Oh, hey. Do you want to come over and hang out tonight after work? His face lights up immediately. Oh, really? I'd love to. His smile is infectious as you grin like an idiot. Awesome. Here's my address. Drop by anytime after 6. I'll see you then. You quickly scribble your information on a slip of receipt paper. You hand the paper with your information on it over to him. He doesn't skip a beat as he takes it from you, not even bothering to look at it before he tucks it into his pocket. I wouldn't miss it for the world. And at that, he's gone. leaving me to my wandering thoughts. Work was uneventful and slow. Normally, these kinds of work days bore you to tears, but today your mind buzzes with thoughts of Clove. You racked your brain for dinner ideas for tonight. What if he has dietary concerns or any food allergies? Surely he's not a picky eater and will be fine with whatever you decide to make, right? You recall in time You recall a time in your youth when he'd stay for dinner and would clean his plate, even on meatloaf nights. Clove sure had an appetite. You smile as you reminisce about memories of Clove in your youth. Aw, it's so cute. And soon enough, your shift comes to a close. You gather your belongings and head out. Your stomach painfully rumbles for sustenance, a silent reminder that you should stop at a grocery store on your way home. Scanning the parking lot, you notice the only other cars in the designated staff-only parking area. As you walk into the store, you're keenly aware of the lack of customers. What type of stores? I don't know. As soon as it loaded up, I got like IRL horror vibes all of a sudden. So I was just like, ooh, something gonna jump out at me. Aside from the occasional employee stocking inventory, there's no one else around but you. You must have just missed the rush hour. Hey, that's good for me. Interacting with people I don't know, not so good with. You grab a handbasket and start tossing things inside. Fresh produce, cooking oil, noodles, some snacks, and the like. They say it's a bad idea to shop on an empty stomach, but you have been full of bad ideas lately. What's one more? You make your way to the meat aisle, wanting to browse the marked down section for tonight's dinner. Satisfied with your selection, you make your way to the register with a full basket. There's someone standing in line in front of you. Say hi. Clove! Clove doesn't notice you as his attention is focused on paying for his groceries. His face is difficult to read, but he looks like he's deep in his thoughts. Hey there, stranger. Come here often? You cringe internally at the corny line. Clove jumps in surprise and whips his head in your direction. Aw, his tail wraps around him. He looks like he just got caught with his pants down. Althemia, hi. I didn't think I'd be seeing you again so soon. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. I forgot I had to pick up a few things after work. Decided to get it done while it wasn't swamped in here. Clove nods his head along in agreement. Before he can say anything else, the cashier hands him his receipt, ready for the next customer. That's my cue. I guess we can chat later tonight, he says matter-of-factly, like I could have possibly forgotten about our plans. You smile and wave him farewell as he takes his leave. See you then, you call after him. You pay for your items and exit the store. You arrive home and change out of your soaked shoes and clothes and into something dry and comfortable. You start preparing dinner for your guests tonight. You had planned on making a simple stir-fry, which would take no time at all. The savory aroma from your cooking fills your apartment quickly, making your mouth water. You set the table and set the dinner out on the table. You glance over at your phone for the time. That must be him. Oh, I just heard the knock. You rush over to open the door. Hi, come on in. You open the door for him to enter. Thank you for having me over. Of course, I'm glad you decided to come. You lead him over to the small kitchenette table. Have a seat. Dinner is ready. You serve him his plate and sit down across from him. Conversation is sparse at first, but you both were too busy eating. He seems to be enjoying his meal, and you make a mental note. As dinner wraps up, you attempt to clean up and put away the dishes. Clove, ever gentleman, offers to help with the dishes despite your protest. You're so grateful for the offer. Not wanting the evening to be over just yet, you think fast. Do you want to watch a movie? You remember there was this flick that just came out that you wanted to see? Sure. What did you have in mind? The two of you make your way to the living room and park yourselves on the couch. What kind of movies do you like? There's this movie that just came out. It's about a medical student's spiral into madness when The reagent he invents, originally meant to speed up the process, originally meant to speed up the body's healing process, reanimates the dead. Oh, this kid This kid created the zombie apocalypse. Oh, that sounds interesting. Let's watch it. He tucks his long legs under his body and sits comfortably on the couch. You follow him as you put the film on. Once again, you fall into a comfortable silence as the attention is focused on the film. A tiny yawn escapes you. Clove shifts in the seats, leaning in towards you, slightly as he tries to find a comfortable spot on your old, worn-out couch. His arm is draped around the back of the furniture. He's attentively watching the movie, totally engrossed. I want to snuggle. Snuggle. I snuggle. He leans to his side and gently rests your head on his shoulder. In turn, he drapes an arm over you and rests his head atop yours. Before long, you hear a soft rumbling sound. It's coming from Clove. Is he purring? Is he? Clove, are you purring? His body goes rigid at your side, and the sound immediately cuts off. No, are you? Me? I'm not the beastkin. His tail fluffs up as well, and it reminds you of a spooked cat. You hide your smile in the folds of his shirt as you snuggle up close to him, resting your head on his chest. I must be hearing things, I suppose. His posture relaxes when you curl against him. Soon you hear an unmistakable purr resonating from Clove's core, much softer than before. Your eyelids grow heavy as you struggle to keep them open. The droning TV is only background noise as you're lulled to sleep by the white noise. Ah, that was the end. Okay, hang on. What if we sleep in? On second thought, you aren't paid nearly enough to deal with the amount of crap thrown at you on a near daily basis at work. Taking the day wouldn't be so bad, would it? You shrug as you shoot a text to your supervisor, letting them know you'll be calling off today, and you close your eyes and fall back asleep. You eventually wake up for the second time this morning when your phone buzzes. A notification pops up reminding you of your to-do list of various errands and chores. Feeling well-rested and in a much better mood with the day ahead of you, roll out of bed. You make yourself the sorriest excuse for breakfast: hummus on toast. Not much of a meal can be made when the only things edible in your fridge are various condiment packets from last night's takeout. You scarf down your sad breakfast nonetheless and head out. The rain had subsided at this point, which was great news for you. The better part of the afternoon is spent getting your errands done. The familiar scent of fresh baked good catches your stomach's attention as it growls in response to the delicious aroma. You follow your nose over to the small bakery. This is the perfect opportunity to take a break and fill your tank. You browse what little they have left for sale. Once your snack is purchased, you hurry to the park across the street. Not a single soul in sight, aside from the mourning doves scattered about that take flight as you approach a lone bench. You take your first bite of the pillory soft pretzel and all but moan in delight. Only now do you realize how hungry you were. I love pretzels. This is like one of my favorite snacks, especially soft pretzels. And this pretzel was made by the divines, or maybe it tastes divine since you are starved. Regardless, it's quick work finishing off the lightly salted treat, listening to the soft ambiance sounds of nature. Suddenly, you feel very aware of your surroundings. A sinking feeling washes over you as the hairs on the back of your neck stand on end. Hello? Who there? Somebody watching me. Something feels off, and you can't seem to place it. That unnerves you greatly. Your flight response is triggered, and at this moment, you wish to be anywhere else but here in this secluded area. Before you can discern the cause of the feeling, you're on your feet, practically running back to the trail. Once you're back to a more populated area, you let out the breath you unintentionally had been holding. That was weird. You didn't see anyone else there, yet it felt as if your life was in danger. Somebody was hunting me. Clove. You calm yourself and try to shake off the tense feeling as you go about the rest of your day per usual. You're so preoccupied with your errands, it's well past 5 p.m., and the sun is steadily setting. Better hurry to the store for your grocery shopping. Wouldn't want to walk home in the dark. Scanning the park. Okay. Wait, my turn. You enter the line as there's only one cashier available. The guy ahead of you is almost finished with checkout. He looks annoyed, but that's none of your business. You stand in silence, waiting your turn patiently. He silently takes his things and leaves. You pay for your items and exit the store. You arrive home unceremoniously, shedding your soaked shoes and pants as soon as you make it past the threshold. You put away your groceries that you don't need for dinner tonight. Hastily prepare dinner. Savory aromas from the cooking makes your mouth water. You enjoy your hot meal after a long day. It really hits the spot. Whoa, my throat. After dinner, you wash up and get ready for bed. Sleep was ready to claim you as you pull back the covers and climb into bed. As soon as your head hits the pillow, your eyes immediately became heavy. The warmth of your cozy bed and the constant pattering of rainfall lull you into a deep, dreamless sleep. You were not disturbed by the drowning sounds from the raging storm. Honestly, I love sleeping through the rain. It's just, like, so calming. Excuse me. Who the fuck's in my house? Sleep tight, little rabbit. I'll see you tomorrow. I don't like that. Ah! Yeah, it wasn't too many options there. So, hang on. How about this? What if I say no? It's clove, you know, like the spice. I'm sorry, I just can't seem to recall. Did we go to the same school, perhaps? You offer out of politeness, not really sure what to say. He seemed really jazzed to see you, and you were feeling guilty that you couldn't place the name to the face of this stranger from your past. However, you are having a hard time recalling your distant memories. The atmosphere turns uncomfortable fast as you stand there awkwardly. Sorry to bother you. I can see now isn't a good time. You don't catch what he said at first, but you see him looking over your shoulder to a queue that started to form at the front desk. Thank the divines for that one. Yeah, I should get back to work. You aren't sure how to disengage from the conversation, so you just dip out of it entirely. That's something I would do. I 100% have done that before. Well, that was awkward. Work was uneventful and slow. Normally these kind of days bore you to death, but today your mind kept going back to Clove. You are now mentally kicking yourself for not giving him your number. Well, we did live in a small town. It would only be a matter of time before we ran into each other again, right? With an audible sigh, you gather your belongings and leave work. Your stomach painfully rumbles for sustenance, reminding you of your lack of breakfast or lunch for that matter. You had planned on making a quick stop at the market anyways. Scanning to okay. Hey, Clove. He turns to face you, surprise flashes across his face. Oh, Althemia. He seems genuinely surprised to see you. He fidgets with the hem of his sweater. So, I wanted to apologize about earlier at the library. I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable, and if I did, I'd like to make it up to you. Would you like to go out to dinner? Your expression softens at his awkwardness. It sounded rehearsed, like he was waiting to see me again. Do you want to have dinner with Clove? Yes. This was your chance. You had wished you had another chance to spend more time with Clove. And by the looks of it, Clove was having the same thoughts. How about we have dinner at my place instead? You raise your basket as if to entice him. Just bring yourself and your appetite, of course. I can do that. He couldn't possibly grin any wider than he currently was. In turn, it causes you to smile. You give me your phone real quick. I'll give you my number and we can share details. He pulls out his phone and tacks away at the screen. He hands it over so you can input your phone number. He shoots you a quick text to let you save his number in your phone as well. You part ways as you walk in opposite directions heading home. I'll see you tonight. Okay, I'm going to move away for this one just to see if it changes anything. Without a word, you shift away from him, propping yourself against the armrest as you curl into yourself. You're uncertain if his movements were an invitation for him to pull the moves on you since his expression was hard to read. You liked his company well enough, but you didn't really know him that well. Granted, you knew the old him, however. You're no longer children, and you have no idea what kind of person Clove has become. For the better or the worse. You turn your attention back to the movie, even if it's not as interesting as you had hoped it would be. Your eyelids droop as you struggle to keep your head up. Clove clears his throat to grab your attention. Aw, Rabbit, why didn't you tell me you were tired? I would have left sooner so you could go to bed. Your eyes snap open to see the movie had ended, and you had obviously drifted to sleep. Ah, I'm sorry. I guess I was more tired than I realized. You laugh sheepishly as you get to your feet. Clove flashes that award-winning smile. It is pretty late, and you had a long day. I should probably head home then. Thank you for coming by tonight. I had a lot of fun. You walk into the door. Thank you for dinner. It was amazing. Next time we hang out, you can cook us dinner. He smiles at you one last time for the night. Good night, Rabbit. See you later. Good night, Clove. Be safe. Yay! That was another cute one. Okay. What else was there? What was this one? Oh yeah, well if I just say goodbye. Work was uneventful and slow. Oh. It just skips that scene. Okay. One more. Option was this one. If you do ... It's very foggy, but you had the faintest memory of a boy from the cul-de-sac you used to live in when you were in grade school. You hadn't thought about your old playmate in decades. You recall not having much luck making... Jeez, my throat just started going out on me. Sorry, guys. You recall not having much luck making new friends as an awkward kid, but he was the one constant in your young life. Well, he certainly grew into those ears, all right. You draw a blank on his name. Oh yeah, he used to live on the same street as me when we were kids. Ah, I'm sorry. I'm not very good with placing faces with names. What was your name again? He smiles with understanding. It's Clove, you know, like the spice. You slap your forehead with the palm of your hand. Ah, Clove. Yes, I remember now. How could I forget? A rhetorical question, of course, because you did forget. Quite easily. And just then the bell at the front desk stings, followed by someone calling out for your assistance. Crap. Looks like you needed. I won't keep you from work. Ah, I'm sorry, Clove. Maybe we can catch up another time. I'm sure I'll see you around. Later. You hustle to the front desk. You hustle to the front desk before the person decides to ring the bell again. Work was on. Okay. Hey, Clove. Oh yeah, I want to click no on this one. Ah, I'm sorry, Clove. Today just isn't a good time. I think I'm just going to go home and rest. You feel a pang of guilt, but it's best to let him down easy instead of getting his hopes up with a maybe or another time. His body is stiff as a board and his expression is strained, like he's struggling to hold it together. Hey, I get it. I understand. That was really sudden to ask like that. You can't blame a guy for asking, right? His laugh is strained, almost like it's forced. Maybe some other time, then. The cashier graciously spares me from this painful conversation as they hand Clove his receipt. He grabs his bag and rushes out of the store. Poor guy. He probably was just wanting to get to know me better, and I had to shoot him down like that. You feel even more guilt for rebuffing him for the second time today. You put the thought away from your mind as you pay for your groceries and head home. Well, that was cute. I like this game. I want to know more about Clove. I'm curious about him. He has piqued my interest, and the fact that he calls us rabbit makes me wonder if he's like thinking of us like a rabbit, like he's about to hunt us, which is kind of a scary thought. But I can't wait to play. I can't wait to see what more comes from this game. But if you guys liked what you saw, click that like and subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.